Even when it comes to luxury vehicles, Americans want to get stuff done. The second-generation Audi Q7 that competes with BMW X5, Mercedes GLS Class, and Volvo XC90 is quite the upscale mover. The first Q did the heavy lifting for over a decade. Emphasis on heavy, it was a real chunk.
As brought to North America, the new Q7 is some 440 pounds lighter than the outgoing version, and this one has extra equipment. That is the average weight of an upright piano. Not a grand piano, those are heavier.
Motivating nearly 2.5 tons of three-row indulgence is a 3-liter supercharged V6 engine with 333 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. It prefers premium fuel. An 8-speed seamlessly chooses the right gear. I'm not crazy about these kinds of controllers, though. One of 6 drive modes should pamper the pickiest driver. Ground clearance can be raised nearly 2.5 inches. On pavement, 0 to 60 runs happen in 5.7 seconds, according to Audi. Pay attention, though. Q7 is quiet enough to lull pilots way past the speed limit.
The ride quality is that elusive blend of comfortable but firm. Body motion's very nicely controlled.
The chassis structure is girder solid. Optioned up to $69,000, this Premium Plus model is stuffed with technology.
Auto braking with pedestrian detection is standard on Q7. That's nice to see. There are luxury brands that make you pay extra for a backup camera. I'm coming up to an intersection. If there were an oncoming car and I tried to turn left in front of it, the Q7 would stop by itself, wouldn't let me do it. Not one of those things that I feel comfortable demonstrating in the real world. Often find yourself in rush hour traffic? Then congestion assist might be for you. At speeds under 40 miles an hour, it reads the traffic ahead, keeps pace with it, and also keeps the car centered within its lane. Yes, it steers, accelerates, and brakes all by itself. You can take your hands off the wheel for short periods of time, just enough to grab your kid's iPad that they dropped on the floor.
The adaptive cruise control works with GPS information and can slow Q7 down in speed zones and tight corners. Known for its well-crafted surroundings, Audi kicks it up a notch in the big Q. I prefer this application of the virtual cockpit since the backup camera isn't blocked by the steering wheel and there's no shortage of views you'd have to try to hit something. Seems like Audi is always tweaking its MMI interface. It now gets a useful touchpad for entering letters and numbers. Could never have too much coffee. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are along for the ride. Seats are climate controlled and available with a massage feature. Those in row number 2 should have no problem getting comfortable. Legroom is what you make it, so are the climate zones, eliminating a lot of disagreements. The big glass roof is especially dramatic for rear passengers. Everything needed to keep devices charged, stuff organized, and the sun managed is on board.
2 average adults will be okay back here for short distances. Normally this is where I would say if you're going to use the third row a lot, buy a van, but there are none trimmed out as well as the Q7. Oh, the dilemmas the wealthy face.
For now, the US does not get the plug-in hybrid version or a diesel engine. That's not a surprise.
I carry a lot more photography gear than this to make these car reviews happen, so the kick-to-open tailgate is a godsend.
Like most in class, cargo room is scarce with all seats in use, and there's no help here. Shorter owners will appreciate power operation to expand the hauling ability, especially raising the seat backs. How civilized, there's even buttons near the second row of seats. With row number 3 folded, the Q will swallow up to 14 packs. And yes, the liftgate will close.
The vehicle I drove before this one was the Mazda CX-9, fully loaded at about $45,000, and it was so good I remember thinking, why would anybody spend the extra money on a luxury car like the BMW X5 or the Audi Q7? Well, it turns out, in this case, I can understand why people would pony up the extra bucks. This is a very, very well done car. You can feel the extra money.
Arguably, there's less grace in the second 7's design. The lines are crisp and clean, but there's not much emotion. This slight flourish nearly goes undetected. Other than that, Q7 is a formidable competitor. It helps with the chores, pampers the family, and entertains the driver. It's a sport utility vehicle that's hardly utilitarian. Let's get back to the interior. As much as I try to give you an idea of what a car is about, and I really sweat the photography, it's tough to convey the quality inside this vehicle in a video. This is craftsmanship with a capital C. Nearly everyone notices when they get in. There are always those who dismiss luxury cars as a money grab from badge snobs. The Q7 is a clear step up in luxury at first glance. Something to share before I go. Weird things happen sometimes. And when I was doing the TP trunk test, the liftgate tried to swallow me whole. Twice. I'm not sure why it was doing that, but I did escape with my life. I lived to tell the tale.
Why does it keep doing that? That is my opinion of the new 2017 Audi Q7. Now remember, if you want to see these reviews a couple weeks earlier than you do here, head on over to thenewyorktimes.com where I am a contributor. That is where they run first. This is kind of the director's cut. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.